And welcome to my channel. Today I will be sharing with you all one of my favorite island dishes, and that is called Eska'Beche. My brother will be making it. I love the way he makes this. Let's dive into it. So the fresh veggies that you would need for this dish are bok choy. If you don't have bok choy, cabbage is fine. Fresh green beans, that's a must. Eggplant, onions, fresh ginger, and the dry ingredients are turmeric powder, ginger powder, black pepper, salt, and white vinegar. So the fish my brother will be preparing for this dish is a tulai. This is his catch of the day. The thing with a tulai, it barely has any scales, but it still has scales. So those scales gotta go. If you don't have a scaler tool, you can use a butter knife or a metal spatula, as you see my brother using right here. My brother is one of the best fishermen I know. Like he always says, why buy it when you can catch it? Live off the land. So now that the fish is all gutted and scaled, my brother will begin adding the salt on one side and the other until his ancestors tell him to stop. What I mean by that is he's just eyeballing it. I didn't feel it necessary to share the part where he gutted the fish, but it's very important to take out all the guts before, you don't want to eat fish with guts in it. That's all I got to say. This part is very important, rubbing the salt onto the fish. It's called finesse. Don't be lazy with it. Effort goes a long way. Like my brother always says, don't eat fish because you're hungry. Eat fish because you want to, and that way you'll be patient to remove the bones. If you eat it because you're hungry, you might hurt yourself with a bone. So now that the fish is nicely salted, I will begin frying it using my air fryer. So while we're waiting for the fish to cook, my sister will begin to cut the veggies, my brother's significant other. And right now she is cutting the bok choy. Okay, after cutting the bok choy, my sister-in-law begins cutting the eggplant, followed by the green beans, then the onions, ginger. Okay, now that all the veggies are done and prepared, the ginger, I grated it, as you see, the bok choy, my sister's cutting, the eggplant, green beans, onions, but last but not least, the fish. Now my brother will put it all together. As you see here, we're using a wok. My brother added oil, and now he tossed in the onions and the ginger. And then he will begin to mix it well. Allow the onions and the ginger to cook into the oil for about 5 minutes, or until the onions become caramelized. Okay, now that the 5 minutes are up, my brother would add 2 cups of purified water. Okay, so now he's giving it a nice stir before adding in the dry ingredients. Okay, as you see here, he's adding ginger powder. And yes, ginger and turmeric are the dominant ingredient for this particular dish. Now he'll be adding the black pepper, and then he will continue to mix it well again. Okay, so soon after he adds the black pepper and mixes it into the sauce very well, he would begin adding the turmeric powder. Like I said early on, the turmeric and the ginger are the most dominant flavor for this dish, but mainly the turmeric, because this dish wouldn't be called Eska'Beche without the turmeric. So now my brother would add 1 cup of vinegar. He's been cooking this dish for years that he doesn't need a measuring cup. He just eyeballs it, as you saw right there. And then as you see, he's mixing it in the ingredients all well together. Okay, so the last dry ingredient my brother is adding is salt. What salt does is it brings all the flavors together. That's why it's important as a cook, personally I think, to not add the salt first. It's better to add it last. Okay, so now my brother will be adding the vegetables. As you see here, he's adding in the eggplant first, followed by the green beans. Then he would allow it to cook for 5 to 10 minutes. So now that the 5 to 10 minutes is up, this is what it should look like. Soon after, my brother would add in the bok choy. Okay, so after he adds in the bok choy, he would give it a nice stir. He will mix in everything well, and then he will allow it to cook for 5 minutes only. This is what it should look like. So now that the vegetables and the fish is done, my brother would layer it in a bowl. Layering is the proper way to mix the vegetables with the fish, not stirring. The last thing you want is any loose bones. So you have to layer it to avoid that from happening. And the fish must be fully fried, because it doesn't really matter how crispy the fish becomes from frying, because the steam would soften it. So this part here is self-explanatory. So now that my brother is done layering the veggies and the fish, he would add the remaining sauce from the wok. The sauce is what would soften the fish, so don't think that you fried your fish too long. Okay, soon after, my brother would cover it and allow the steam to do its magic. So everyone, this is the outcome. This is how Eska'Beche is made. Let me share with you all how I played it. Okay everyone, this is how I played it. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to chow down. If you all enjoyed watching my channel and like to see more of my content, to those who are new, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss a beat every time I share. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Sizos Maasi. I also like to thank my brother and his amazing wife for taking time to create this amazing dish.